My name is Laura. I'm 29 years old and I live in Toronto with my partner. I'm a second year nursing student going into my third year in the fall, and I'm a lesbian. I was definitely a lot luckier, I think, than some of my peers. My mother was definitely very accepting, my father, not so much. And in terms of experiences that I had where heteronormativity was really evident and influenced me, I can definitely think of an instance in grade 9 gym class that stands out where there was a gym teacher who had told us that we needed to wear our uniforms, which were little shorts. So the gym teacher had said, you better show up with these shorts on because you shouldn't be looking at other girls' legs anyways. So I shouldn't hear any flack from you guys. And so for me, I mean, I'm a total weirdo, awkward grade 9 girl, and I know that I'm different, and I know that I'm looking at girls in a different way than some of my peers are. And this, I mean, it just made me feel, I don't know, like I didn't belong. So growing up, I would say from kindergarten through elementary school and even some of early high school, the things that we were presented as learning materials, I'm talking about everything from movies that you watch in class to novels that you read, even applied math questions where they have a scenario and there's a mom and a dad are doing this and that. It's always presented to you like mom and dad, ask your mom and dad at home. Heterosexual couples are always presented in media to you as normal, and you don't see yourself reflected in those worlds. And then also the books that you read, generally the protagonists are always heterosexual. I have never read a book in an educational system where there's a lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirited, queer individual who's the protagonist. And if they are included, it's generally in a negative light. And I think that when that happens, it sends the message that who you are as an individual, for something that you really can't help, just who you naturally are, is immoral or invalid or wrong. Visibility is so important. I think it's important for youth especially to see people who are LGBTQ to, out in the community, being successful, being okay with themselves, because I think that's really empowering and, like I said, important. Creating the visibility that I'm talking about is so important because we need to elevate people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, two-spirit, and queer, all of that, so that it normalizes it, so that there is that visibility and that people don't see it as such a horrible thing. People don't realize, especially educators, how powerful language is. So when you have a classroom of kids and you're saying, your mom and dad, your mom and dad, your mom and dad, that really makes them feel, like I said, othered. And I think that just using more inclusive language, saying things like partner instead of your wife or your husband, saying things like parent or parents instead of mom and dad. And then I do think that it's important to invest in the development of resources that are more inclusive. So I'm talking about films, novels, texts, learning resources that have that inclusive language in there. But I know that that's going to take some time.